For generations, schools have been the cornerstone of our educational system. But how did we get to where we are today? In this video, we will explore the history of schools, particularly the influence of Horace Mann's system, and how it has shaped the educational landscape that we know today. From its origins in the 19th century to its far-reaching implications in the present, we will take a look at how Mann's vision of education has left an enduring mark on education systems around the world. The history of school is as old as civilization itself, and it has always been a struggle. Throughout the centuries, education has had its ups and downs, with both positive and negative effects. Unfortunately, in the early days of education, the system was far from perfect. Schools were places of torture and discipline, where children were often subjected to harsh punishment if they failed to meet the standards. This form of punishment included physical abuse, public humiliation, and sometimes even death. This kind of severe treatment was common throughout the world for centuries, and it was only in the 19th century that education began to shift towards a more humane approach. In 1837, Horace Mann created a system of standardized education that sought to reform the current system and make it more equitable. The Horace Mann system implemented stricter rules, better curriculum, and increased teacher training and certification, all of which improved the quality of education. Thanks to the Horace Mann system, schools began to become places of learning instead of punishment. This system quickly spread around the world, becoming an international standard for education. While the system did have its flaws, it was still a step in the right direction towards a better and more efficient form of education. Many countries adopted the model, including the United States, who made it part of their official public school system. By the late 1800s, most countries had adopted some form of the Horace Mann system and had begun introducing new concepts such as grading scales, specialized classes, and college preparation courses. However, this wasn't enough to create equality within the educational system. Although many countries adopted the same model, there were still disparities in access to resources between urban and rural areas, socioeconomic classes, genders, races, and other groups. These disparities continued into the 20th century, leading to decades of protest movements aimed at improving educational opportunities for marginalized groups. Today, education systems around the world are still based on the Horace Mann model, though they have evolved over time. Most countries now emphasize access to high-quality education for everyone, regardless of their race or class. But who was Horace Mann and how did his system come about? The Horace Mann system, developed in the early 19th century by American educator Horace Mann, was an innovative approach to education which aimed to standardize instruction and make schools more efficient. Mann's vision for education reform was based on his belief that all children had the right to a quality education, regardless of their social class or background. Under this system, schools would be organized into a hierarchical structure, with each level assigned a specific curriculum and standard of instruction. The system was designed to ensure uniformity and quality across all levels of education, from elementary school to university. Schools were also given more autonomy, allowing them to make decisions about how best to meet their students' needs. Mann's system was adopted by many states in the United States and eventually spread to other countries around the world. While it has evolved over time, the basic principles of the system remain largely intact today. Schools still strive to provide a quality education that is accessible and equitable to all students, while also giving teachers and administrators the freedom to experiment with new methods of instruction and assessment. When Horace Mann created the educational system in the United States, it wasn't long before other countries began to follow suit. In the 1840s, countries such as Prussia, Denmark, and even Japan began to use the same school structures and teaching methods that were being used in the United States. These countries started to adopt the idea of providing education to all children, regardless of their social class or financial status. The standardized school system spread rapidly, and soon almost every country in Europe had adopted the same system. This system was designed to provide a universal education for everyone, which meant that students from all backgrounds could access the same level of education. This gave students the chance to gain an education, no matter their family's wealth or background. The new system also allowed students to learn more efficiently and develop knowledge more quickly. The new school system was quickly adopted by countries around the world because it provided a structured way of teaching, which was beneficial for students at that time. With this system, students were able to get a well-rounded education that prepared them for future endeavors. Today, many countries have adopted the same systems that Horace Mann implemented in the United States over 150 years ago. Following the huge impact left behind by the Horace Mann system of education, today's schools are still struggling to keep up with the changing world. As technology and global communication continue to revolutionize our society, so do the expectations for our schools. The days of learning by rote memorization are quickly fading away and being replaced with skills such as creativity, problem solving, and critical thinking. Schools must keep up with this fast-paced world by offering more diverse curricula and teaching styles to better prepare students for the future. The future of education is full of possibilities and potential, but it is also faced with numerous challenges. Schools need to continue to adapt and evolve in order to meet the needs of their students in this rapidly changing world. Thanks for watching. We hope you found it useful, and we look forward to providing more content like this. But before that, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Don't forget to follow us on our other social media accounts and leave us a comment to let us know what you think. Also, if there are any contents like this that you want us to come up with, please let us know in the comment sections.